Okay, everyone, we are back down at Marramarra. Unfortunately, we cannot camp here because there's only 2 sites and they're booked out to, I think, the first or second week in August. So we've come down here to see if we can maybe record the famous Marramarra howls, which happened while I was down here with my wife and a fellow researcher, Adam. But I'm down here with a guy called Kurt, and he was here as well with one of his girlfriends at the time, and we were basically camped here at this campsite. So we were sitting around here, and it was 11:15. I remember that because I looked at my watch when the howl started, and we had our tents around here. So Kurt and his girlfriend were pretty much camped near this big tree right here, and there's a fire pit there. So they're a good 80 metres. So he's here with me today, and we're going to discuss what I heard and what we heard and during that time. So 11:15, I go to say, boys and girls, I'm going to go to sleep because there's nothing happening. And all of a sudden we hear this big howl. It was so loud. The recording doesn't do it justice of how loud it was. So I actually had a sound recorder across the creek here. I'll just quickly go over here. There's a creek here. It's a tidal creek that runs in through from Marramarra, and I had my sound recorder across over here on top of a trail camera. So I won't go all the way, but basically if you look on Google Map, you can see there's a tidal creek there, and actually the tide is going out. So anyway, there's only one way to get in, from the Smuggler's Cove Trail or the Marramarra Trail. So there's only one way in or out via one of them 2 trails, which pretty much you can drive in your car to a certain point, and then the Smuggler's Ridge Trail veers off, and then you go down a bit further to get to stop and park and then walk the Marramarra Trail, which is much harder. The Smuggler's Ridge Trail is pretty much flat until the end. So you can see the ridgeline here, it just goes straight up. There's nowhere to get down there. So no one's coming down to play a trick on us. So basically we're here, we hear this noise. So I've got my parabolic dish and I've pointed it that way. And for the next half an hour, 35 minutes on and off, it's howling. And what we thought it was like a creature trying to find, others of its kind. So, and then after that half an hour, we heard noise coming from where Kurt was, and then we've shone our torches over here, and in that meantime, before then, he's got out. He didn't know what it was, and he's made a big fire and got the torch, and he's shining into that bush too. So I'll just get him to talk, and this is his recollection of that night.
Yeah, so the night I heard the howls, I was over near that tree in my tent with my girlfriend at the time. I'd gone to bed probably 9 o'clock, had a little fire going, and I was just dozing and tossing and turning a bit. About 11:15, woke up heard this really loud howl coming from the top of the ridge line, sort of the creek's behind us, and then there's a steep cliff embankment there. There's no way to get up or down there at all. Heard this really deep, long howl. It wasn't a dog or a dingo or anything like that. I've been camping since I was little, heard pretty much every noise in the Australian bush. Then I got out, put some wood on the fire to get the fire raring again, laid back down, and then I could hear footsteps coming through this bush over here. So I had the back of the tent facing the toilet, the front of the tent was open to this bush. Sat there at the front of the tent, unzipped the fly and just sat there with a torch listening. I heard footsteps again in the bush, so I shined my torch on, didn't see anything, the noise stopped, and then I could see, a couple of minutes later, I could see Dan and Adam shining their torches in the bush, so they obviously heard something as well. It was there, and the next morning I got up to go for a fish down at the creek, and I spoke to Dan and I said, "Oh, did you hear those howls last night?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a bit weird, it sort of freaked me out. Can't really explain it, so haven't heard it before then and I haven't heard it since, but quite an eerie experience and something I can't explain. The combination of the howls and something in the bush. It wasn't a kangaroo, it was definitely bipedal
Yep.
footsteps. I could hear the occasional twig breaking. That's what alerted me and caused me to shine my torch there, and I couldn't find anything. As soon as the light was on, the noise stopped. Yeah, so that's my recollection of it, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll never forget, and I'm glad we had the equipment here to record it so we could, listen to it again if we want to. So we're basically, like I said, we can't camp here. There's only 2 spots to camp they're allocating for people, and they're all booked out. So no one's here at the moment. So we've come down to Smuggler's Ridge Trail, which is really easy. If you've got you're not that fit, you want to come down here. There's probably the last 500 metres is, it's not all hard, but and it's not really that steep. So it's a little bit slippery for the last maybe 100 metres. You just got to watch your footing. Hiking poles, I do use them, so they do come in handy. So we're going 2 kilometres back that way. So we've got to go back to where the Marramarra Ridge Trail gets down to the bottom and then go another kilometre to a campground Kurt said it's called Orchard Campground that he's found out. So we've just told the national parks we're going there, so we'll be over that way. So we're basically in the same area. Something's going to happen. We've got just as much chance as something happening there as there is here. So anyway, it's a new spot, and we're going to go check it out soon. We're probably another half an hour to get there, and then we're going to set up camp and then see what we get. So I've got my big parabolic dish, and I'll put my IR lights on this camera and do the night vision, and we'll see what we can get. Anyway, that's the recollection recollection of that night from myself and Kurt. So basically it's the same story, because basically everything happened and we're both here to hear where things were walking around and where the howls were coming from. And yeah, it was a pretty freaky night. So yeah, we're going to be on our way in a minute. We just had a bit of a rest here and do a bit of filming, and then we're off to the other area. So I'll start filming when we get there. Okay, we've set up our tents and sat down and had a bit of a chat and a coffee. This is what the Orchard Campground looks like. It's called the Orchard Campground because back in the early settlers days, they planted haven't seen anything weird, no tree breaks, but I've heard like a wood knot come from this area, and there's a lot of areas where there's overhangs up here. There's plenty of them up here. Another one up here. They're pretty far away. Take a lot of effort to get up there. You'd have to go along that ridge and climb down to them. That'd be a better thing to do. So we're still right next to the tidal river here. Small rock ledges right there. All right, so the University of Sydney?
Yeah.
They got a game camera on here, and then what's that? A bit of chicken or something?
Yeah.
Chicken wing. They're just trying to probably find out what animals are around here and tracked it. So you never know where a trail cam's going to be, and who's researching out here. Well, we've got our campfire going very nicely. We dragged a few logs over and got it going. So if you step away from the fire, you notice the temperature drop, and it's predicted about 8 degrees tonight. So you know, it could be a bit more than that, but I'm pretty much thinking it's going to be about 4 or 5 degrees maybe. So we'll just sit here and enjoy this for a while, and then we'll go for a wander around, and we'll go all the way down to the Marramarra campsite and see what's going on down there. And okay, we're going out, have a look around on the main trail. This is complete darkness, just with the IR lights. So hopefully we get some sort of Yowie response. That noise was a couple of campers that are nearby, say they're breaking some wood and that. So we'll turn the lights on as we're walking, because it's so dark here. So if I turn the IR lights off, it's completely dark, you can't see in front of you. So we'll turn our lights on, and then we'll see what we get as we walk along towards the Marramarra campground and back. There he is. See if we're on our way close to the Marramarra campground. But we have to have our head torches on because it's not a flat track and it's easy to trip over, so last thing we want to do is get hurt while we're out here. Okay, we can't get over to the Marramarra campground. As you can see here, it's high tide, so it's pretty cold, so you can see my breath, but we've just recorded. I had some weird sounds. It was like, I don't know, weird monkey kind of talk. That's what I thought. I thought someone was there, but no one's at the campground. And also, we had we had a rock thrown in the water. I could hear it clearly on the parabolic, and Kurt could hear him with his own ears. So it was clearly a rock thrown in the water, and it was like hands swishing around in the water, like they're trying to catch fish or something. I don't know. But now that we've made a bit of noise and alerted everything to our presence, it's just settled down and it's all stopped. So yeah, the campground's just over here. It's really weird. There's always something happening down here. So we'll just hang around for a little bit. I might do a bit more recording and see what we can get. But over here is like, it's all bush. There is stuff happening over here, but it seems to be just wallabies at the moment. But everything's coming from the other side. There's some weird bird calls and some other weird noises. Anyway, I'm going to put the parabolic on and have a bit more of a listen and see if we can pick something up.
Slushing the water around. This is crazy.
easy. Stomach. That's a rock getting thrown in the water. There's no one at this campsite. There is no one here. What threw a rock in the water? Did you hear that? night, I heard noises. I thought it was people, but there's no one there.
I couldn't hear anyone over there.
No, yeah, there's no people, but it sounded when we first got here. I think they know we're here now. It's all kind of settled down.
Maybe a bird.
Yeah, it's a bird. Some sort of bird. All that noises and everything's all stopped. I think they know we're here. Yeah, there's something moving over that way. I think it's a wallaby. We put it on pause. Can hear foxes.
Oh, okay.
What was that?
Sounded like a wood knock.
Yeah, my stomach just went off as it would not happen. Just be on. Just as my stomach made a grumble, I think it overshadowed the wood knocks. I didn't hear it as clear as I should have.
Oh, I heard it pretty clear.
other side of the creek. think we've got enough.
Alright, well, there's been some fantastic sound recordings here. Everything seems to have gone quiet, but I don't know about you guys. If you just listen to everything that I've just recorded, look, you guys can make your own minds up, but having headphones on and the parabolic dish, it sounds like numerous times rocks getting thrown into the water. It sounded like there was some sort of, like a bunch of sort of animals making different kind of noises. Hands swishing in the water like they were trying to catch fish or something. Wood knocks. There was just different things going on. Look, you guys make your mind up. But this definitely is like the best place that I've ever been to for Yowie research, and that's why I keep coming back, because it just keeps giving and giving more and more each time. Man, we're going to make our way back to the campsite, but we might stop on the way and see if we can hear some more stuff. But nah, this was just absolutely crazy. This is the best place. And if you have got, if you want to stay here, it will freak you out here. So, but don't come down here alone. I wouldn't suggest you come down here alone. Okay, we've just taken about 20 minutes to get back to the campsite. Like we said before, there's a couple other people over there, 3 young blokes, so they're pretty cool. They're just having a chat and they were having a fish and stuff. Anyway, this area is pretty quiet. We're not hearing anything out of the ordinary. There's no birds, no foxes, no anything other than 5 human beings, including me and Kurt and the other 3 guys over there. But the parabolic dish and our own ears were picking up some really weird stuff. And probably about 10 minutes before we left, I looked up the trail, which is just across that creek that goes into the campground. I'd seen a pair of red eyes. Like, it's like their eyes are closed, their eyes opened, and then the eyes closed, and then I didn't see it again. And then just after that, we heard something moving around in the bush, and it seemed to be coming closer towards the creek. And we heard about at least 3 times, like rocks hitting the water, because there were fish, when they get to the top of the water and they quickly turn, that the fins slap. But the rock sounds different when it makes that bloomp kind of noise, and you can hear it hitting the water. I thought I heard people there making a noise, but it was really weird noise I haven't heard before. And then it quickly just quietened down, and then my parabolic would have picked up people talking there for sure, or some sort of noise. If a human made a noise, talking or yelling or screaming or something, I would have picked it up easily. But when we go back there, we've got to go out that way. We'll check the campsite and make sure, 100% sure, that there's nothing there. So, the sounds are really good. It's been well worth the hike in, and the Smuggler's Ridge Trail, if you are coming to Marramarra, pretty much takes you straight to the campsite. You just go down and then go left about 50, 100 metres and you're there. So it's easy till about the last 500 metres, and about the last 100 metres is a bit sketchy. But before you know, you're down on the flat and you're on your way to the campsite. But if you're able to do it, yeah, come down, but don't come down by yourself. It's really an eerie place. You'll freak out. But at the moment, you have to camp with, you've got to let the national parks know that you're there, and they're only allowing 2 campsite spots. I don't know how many people, but they just got 2 spots open. Normally, they're probably 20, 30 people can camp there. But anyway, I'll put the sound recordings up, and you guys just listen to it. It probably goes through a good 25 minutes, but it's just different things happening, and we're pretty much going, what the hell is that? Every time something went. A few wood knocks. It sounded like rocks getting thrown around and stuff, and things moving around, tree breaks. So there was a range of things happening. It was really cool. So it's well worth our effort to come down here, and the night's fantastic. There's no cloud in the sky, there's no wind. Yeah, and down there it's just crazy, everything's happening. We're here, it's quiet, and we can just reflect on what we just heard. Anyway, we're going to enjoy this fire and have a talk around the campfire for a while, and whenever we get tired or decide to go out for another look around, we may do that later, but at the moment it's just sit around the campfire and enjoy that, and enjoy our freedom from COVID for a while. Hopefully we're able to keep on coming out and there's no more restrictions.